Hey guys, 6'3" here, and I hope you guys are having a lovely day. A few years ago, I made a video about the University of Ghana in Legon compared to the University of Nsukka, Nigeria, and it's still one of my most well-performing videos till today. I think the last time I checked, it was about 30k views, and in comparison, my second best video is about 5,000. So that really went places until today. People are still commenting. I have been very sporadic with the type of content I post here for a while. Sometimes it's games, sometimes it's other things. But now I'm trying to be more focused on the type of content that I put out on this channel, and hopefully somebody can relate. Some people can feed into the energy I am trying to give out, right? So yeah, subscribe, like, let me know if this is something you would like to see more often. Today I want to talk about anxiety. Google explains it as the constant fear of doing anything, basically. The sweating, dizziness, and all the other works, right? But I'm not here to tell you how to overcome anxiety. I'm here to explain what it really is, because I don't think Google does justice to what anxiety is. It makes it seem like a condition that you're aware of. Like, someone diagnoses you, oh yeah, you have anxiety. You go to the doctors the same way they tell you have HIV or amnesia. They tell you, oh, you have anxiety. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Who goes to the hospital and doctor diagnose me for anxiety? I don't know if people do. I wouldn't say I'm knowledgeable about that. I'm just saying it sounds absurd and ridiculous. So I'm trying to I'm going to try to come from another point of view, right? I think the best way to explain anxiety is it comes with a little bit of narcissism. It comes with you believing that everything that happens around you, everything you experience, and everything you are involved in happens because of you. You see where the narcissism comes in. This is where it comes in. This is where you believe that the girl you asked out, she said no because of you. That guy that was upset, he spoke to you a type of way, it was because of you. That girl crying in the corner, probably because of you. And it's a very self-destructive condition, because you are constantly afraid of what people will say about you, what they will think about you, what they will, go home with, the image they will go home with about you, the things you say, what you do. And all it ends up making us become are robots who just imitate what is right in society, because we're afraid of being ourselves. We're afraid of just doing what we want to do. So you're always concerned about what people think, what they would say, what they would do, because of the things you do. And that's the narcissism and the funny part, because you're narcissistic, but you don't love yourself. Which is ironic, because the whole point of narcissism is self-love to a dangerous extent. So how do you put yourself on so high a pedestal, right? You are on top, and then you are so insecure. That's the problem. You are so insecure about yourself, yet you are the center of your universe. That's anxiety. Constant fear, with indecision to do anything because you feel like if it goes wrong, it's your fault. I'll tell a story. A few years ago, I spoke to this girl and it went right. It went as I expected it to go. I took her number, we started texting, and the energy was really good for about 5 days, right? On the fifth day, the energy was gone, right? And I started thinking to myself, what did I do wrong? What did I say? I must have said something that she didn't want to hear, or I did something, or maybe the pictures that I sent to her were not flattering enough. I'm sure as you're listening to this, you're thinking, what sort of ridiculous? But it's really that ridiculous. That's actually how ridiculous anxiety is, looking at it from the outside, right? Maybe the pictures I sent weren't flattering enough. Maybe I did something, it has to be me. It has to be me. Eventually, the conversation died and I moved on, right? Where I always went with that understanding that, I did something wrong. I messed it up. And you know what happened? In other relationships going forward from there, I was more careful. I was more picky about the pictures I sent. I was more mysterious because I didn't want to show all my cards and have her get bored and leave. You see where this is going, right? 2.5 years later, I came in contact with the same girl. We reconnected, and during our conversations, we kind of reminisced about what we used to have. And then she told me that the reason why she stopped talking, because I genuinely wanted to know, not that I was still into her, not that I still wanted to be with her, but just, out of mere curiosity. We were doing good last time we saw each other. Why did it end? What was wrong? And then she told me that her friend had told her that I was a playboy, that I was just trying to get into her pants and, run. Turns out that her friend was interested in me, so she found out later. Her friend was interested in me, but was jealous that I approached her, being the girl I was talking to, instead of her friend. So she tried to discourage her friend from being with me, because if she couldn't have me, then, nobody could. In that moment, when I heard this, it was but it was also a stupid me. Why did I think it was my fault? When there were factors, so many other factors involved that I would have never known, nor could I keep track of all of them. I couldn't have possibly changed that outcome. There was nothing I could have done. If I went back, and did the whole thing again, the whole texting and conversation, it would have still ended. Why? Because there were factors outside my control that I couldn't help. And that's what anxiety doesn't want you to know. It never wants you to realize that, you are not always the problem. You are not always the reason for something. People have other lives. People have other things they want to do. People have other things that are affecting them. People have different states of mind. Maybe she wasn't even looking for a relationship at the time. Maybe she had lost her dad and, or her network was bad, or her phone got stolen, or I don't know. There were so many other things that could have happened as to why we stopped talking. But in my mind, I was the fault. There's nothing you could have done to convince me otherwise, until she told me 2.5 years later. I went with that perspective that I was the problem. Narcissism as well as anxiety. That's what makes up anxiety. Ironic. That's really what it is. You know, the whole point is we need to start letting go of things that happen outside our control. If we did our best, if we tried everything and it doesn't work out, let it go. Let it go. It's never going to be easier if we tell ourselves, if we jump to conclusions and fill up storylines. You see, what we do is anxiety fills up spaces, the blanks, the whys of the things that happen to us. Why did this happen to you? We don't know. So anxiety tells us, okay, you're trying to find an answer. Well, the answer is you. We're trying to understand why. Sometimes you can't understand it. You are one person. You are one person in a world that has so many other people and factors in it. Sometimes if the why isn't coming, if you don't know the why, don't try to force it, because when you do, the answer is most probably going to be you. The answer is most probably going to be you. And that's, I think, anxiety in a nutshell, man. I think that's, to put a cork in it and not sound long-winded, it's the constant belief that you are always responsible for everything that happens around you. That's it. So let me know if you liked this video. Let me know if you found it interesting, if it's something you want to see more of. Comments, shares, I would appreciate all of that. I'm trying to be more consistent here, and I know I've made that promise a lot of times, but my commitment issues, as well as just plain laziness, honestly, has not allowed me. But I will do my best to be more consistent here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.